What advice would you give someone who is depressed about life?
So somebody that's depressed, and this is something I struggle with whenever I go through it. Try everything you can to find a way to communicate that to somebody. Let somebody know that you're depressed. Let somebody know that you may need help. Listen to me when I tell you this, and this is for the people out there that a lot of times it's guys, but there's some women out there too. This is for the people out there that feel like, no, I got to hold this on my own. No, you don't. It's okay to not be okay. Me, a lot of times knowing the signs helps too. For me, I like to get secluded. Very first thing I do is pull away from everybody and anything. I don't talk to nobody. I go into a dark room, and that's where I want to be at. Luckily for me, she knows that. So the moment that changes, she'll come back there and comfort me and stuff like that. However, one of the things that I feel like I struggle with is communicating in the beginning that it's happening. A lot of times it gets a little far in before it's communicated. And I feel like that's something that if you are somebody that goes through that, please reach out to somebody. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be somebody at work. It could be somebody that you look up to. It could be somebody that is a stranger. Whoever it is, just please at least reach out. Because we have way too many people committing suicide. I've been seeing on the news a lot of men, there's even women. There's a lot of people out there that are, taking themselves out over depression. People that have whole families, and depression is an extremely serious issue. It's not a joke.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
My advice is, for one, you kind of hit on a lot of different things. So I'm going to try to take a different angle and try to cover some things that you did not mention. So what advice would I give someone who's depressed about life? Know that your emotions will make you feel that things are bigger than they really are. And you make sure that if you are going through depression right now, do not act on how you feel in this very moment, because you could feel like this today, and then tomorrow you could feel amazing in the same circumstance. That's one thing that I had to learn, that when I am in the thick of it, it feels like nothing is ever going to change. And, it makes you feel like your life is over and the world is horrible. And, if you really get into your head in reference to that, you'll feel that you're going to always feel like this. Right. But I want you to know that however you're feeling right now, if you're going through that, you will not always feel like that. And one thing that I heard someone mention is to kind of help you get out of depression. It's not just like a one size fits all. Like there's just different things that you can do that may work for one person, but it may not work for the next. It's ask yourself, are you safe right now? Mentally and physically, right? And if you are safe in this very moment, just stay in that present fact that you are safe. And why I say this, and it sounded crazy when I first heard it, because I'm like, that's stupid. Like, yeah, I'm safe, but that don't make me feel better. But when I actually put this into practice, like if you were going through an eviction, for example, are you safe in this moment? Like you still have your house, even though like things are happening around, but in this very moment, you're okay. Stay in that moment that you're okay. And in the Bible, it tells you not to worry about tomorrow, right?
Right. Tomorrow worries about itself.
Yeah. And so you have to take it one day at a time. Now, I'm not going to leave it at that because it's easier said than done in that moment, right? Because you still have to fix your problem at the end of the day. Like you still have to figure out the core reasons why you're depressed and start taking action. What I find that works if you're going through depression is, for one, you hit on this, but I'm going to say it again. The first thing the enemy will try to make you do is isolate yourself.
Right.
Rebel against the isolating yourself, because if he can get you by yourself, he will start talking to you and it will get louder and louder and louder in your head. He will also make you feel like no one cares to know what you are dealing with. Right. And he will try to get you to stay in your head and keep listening to him instead of coming to your spouse or coming to whoever it is that you have that you can actually talk to and talk that situation out. So one, do not allow him to isolate you. maybe you need to get out and go for a walk, or maybe you need to go and listen to a sermon, or maybe you need to go and listen to a motivational speech, or whatever that may be for you. But do those things, because you'll be amazed how it makes you feel differently after you take those steps. 2, I don't know if that's 2 or 3, but whatever, we're going to go with it. If you are depressed right now, do a detox. Because I could tell you right now, you may not realize how much of an impact social media has on this.
Or the news.
Yeah, or the news. Yeah. But do a detox and pull yourself off of all of those things, because normally depression, like certain things that cause depression, is if you're comparing yourself to other people. It's easiest to do that on social media, especially with Instagram. I wouldn't say so much TikTok, but like Instagram, Facebook, anywhere where you're seeing people like showboating, and they might not even be doing it intentionally, but it happens. And you may be comparing your situation with other people's. You need to pull yourself off of that.
Other people's highlight reels, yeah.
Right. Pull yourself off of that so you can have your own thoughts, and you're not getting other thoughts being created from other people's situation. Right. So detox from social media and start setting the parameters to do something more positive. So I always kind of like hesitate on doing a gratitude list or thinking about the things that you're actually grateful for in that moment. But when you start listing those things off, you'll realize that it's really not as bad as you think it is.
Right.
And you actually do have things that you can focus on. And the reason why you want to put the parameters in place to kind of pull yourself out of it is because one thing that I learned is if you allow yourself to stay in a low energy or a negative energy or a negative vibration, it seems like more things happen while you're in that vibration. So you have to do everything you can to pull yourself back onto that normal vibration so that bad stuff will stop having that ripple effect in your life. All right, I'm going to shut up.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like another thing too that helps like with me sometimes is when I'm in the beginning stages of it, if you actually really sit back and think to yourself and ask yourself this question, why am I thinking this right now?
Yeah.
Why am I depressed right now? And try to get a handle on figuring out what is happening that causes these depressional episodes. Because sometimes it could be a trigger and you're not even realizing that it is a trigger. And I know for me, it could be a nostalgic memory of a song on the radio or a movie or something being said or a smell. Just whatever it is, trying to figure out what those triggers are that allow that to happen. Also, she had touched on this as well too. Remember, it is temporary. Your emotions are so temporary. Even if, let's say it lasts for a couple of weeks, still temporary.
Yep.
This too shall pass. One of the greatest Bible verses ever, because it does.
It does.
And the devil's playground is right here.
Yeah.
So isolating yourself is giving the enemy all the tools they need to destroy this up here for you.
Absolutely. That's really good.